Hello, and welcome to another episode of Fragranamics. My name is Drew, and the fragrance we're going to be talking about today is by Alexandria Fragrances called Visionary. It's a dark blue bottle with a black label, so it's not going to show up. But as usual, we're going to do a deep dive and impressions on the fragrance right after we run the intro. Welcome back, and thanks for dropping by my channel. And I also hope to see you again in future episodes to come. If you find any value in the information that's offered, please consider subscribing to the channel and also hit the like button so that the algorithm will help push the video out and so that you won't miss any future episode. Let's get to this one. Once again, this is the fragrance we're going to be talking about. Alexandria Fragrances Visionary. And as usual, we're going to go and look up the notes. Let's see what's going on with Fragrantica. And on this one, we're going to actually go to Alexandria Fragrances and see what kind of notes they got, and we're going to compare them. Yep. All right, we're on Alexandria Fragrances website. Take a look and see what they got going on with this. Tells us right here, basically, that this is inspired by Louis Vuitton. It has Calibarian bergamot, Sicilian orange. It has neroli, ginger, and it also has cinnamon. And then they said they went and added Chinese black tea, guaiac wood, and ambroxan to give it a zen-like quality that will soothe and relax you. Sounds pretty good. Now we pull up the Fragrantica because there isn't any notes. I looked it up. There's no notes on the Alexandria Fragrances cologne on the site. But it does have Louis Vuitton breakdown on it. So we're going to take a look at this. Let's roll it down, see what we got going on. Said Imagination was launched in 2021. Then it goes into the nose behind it, and then gets into the same top notes. Basically, it has citron, Calibarian bergamot, Sicilian orange. Then the middle notes are neroli, ginger, cinnamon. And they say the same thing. They got the base notes as Chinese black tea, ambroxan, guaiac wood, that olivanium. My pronunciation a little off, but I'm going to get it close as I can get it. Now, as usual, one of the first things I like to talk about is the price for this Visionary, which is a 100 milliliter bottle, is $119, which is it's a pretty good for the fragrance. But what we're going to do is go ahead and smell it, and then we're going to compare it to the original. All right, here's the Alexandria Fragrances. I'm going to put your clear image up on the screen in a little bit. But let's go ahead and check the atomizer. Atomizer sprays pretty well. Go ahead and get a sniff of it. Definitely citrus, amber. You do pick up the Sicilian orange. I don't know if it's Sicilian, but I know what orange smell like. I smell neroli, which is basically nothing. It's more like a lemon. That's kind of what it gives, like a sourish lemon flavor. The ginger and the cinnamon I can definitely pick up also. Now, the black tea seems to be a little light. I'm not for sure how they did it, but to me, it smells real clean. It really smells like a fresh out of the shower type of scent. Yeah, it kind of smells like a fresh soap, a super fresh soap, nice, clean, and airy. So far, I think it's a good fragrance. Let's go to, the original, because I got a treat for y'all today. I actually went out and picked up the original Louis Vuitton, and I want to share it with you all. We're going to open it on camera, and we're going to spray the real deal. We're going to see what's what. I know what it smells like. I've had a couple of samples before, but I finally went on to pull the trigger because I wanted to share the video with you all as far as me having my own bottle of it So let's get to opening it. All right, here we go. What we got going on here? Newest Louis Vuitton. Go ahead and take a look in the bag, see what we got going on here. This is pretty much how you get it. You got the little paper around it, or what, little tissue paper. Go ahead and take it out. Let's see. Get this out of the way. Here's the box. Just a plain white box. Right? Yep. All right, let's go ahead on and get this thing open. Let's see here. I don't know if they glued it together or whatnot. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. It just comes out the box like so. Comes in a little white container. See? Get it to focus. Okay. Let's open it up. And there's a fragrance right there. I have my initials put on. Okay, we're going to go ahead and test this out and see what we got going on. Here. All right, we're going to go ahead and open them up and see what the atomizer looks like at first, like we always do. See what kind of spray coming out. Oh, yeah, you got plenty of that. Go ahead and shake him off. I'm going to see what we're working with. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. This is what I'm talking about here. I don't know what it is about these Louis Vuitton fragrances. They just have a extra freshness on top of them. This is hard to match, depending on what type that you get. Now, they do have some darker fragrances. I just don't get into them too much. But this one, you can smell the citron, which is like a real deep citrus. The bergamot, the orange just comes right off. A little bit of neroli playing in the background. And the ginger kind of gives it some oomph. I don't really pick up a lot of cinnamon. But the ambroxan in the back, which is basically a product that they use to help boost the product to get the smell out. It's like a synthetic compound with a dry amber musky smell, depending on what the application will use here. This is good. This is a good scent. But we're here to compare the two. We know that the Louis Vuitton one is good. We already know that. But what we need to do is compare it to the Alexandria Visionary fragrance. So go ahead on. We're going to spray that again. Let's get him up in the air. Great atomizers on both of them, actually. Think about it. Let me hit this Louis one more time for you. Got the room smelling very good. Dry them both off. Give them a few seconds to dry down. And we're going to see what's what. Nice, clean, crisp. Like I said, it has more of a soapy vibe in the background. I do smell the lemon and whatnot and some of the citron. But let's go to the Louis. Yeah, this Louis is a lot richer. This is a lot thicker here. This here. This smells like a high-end type of hotel that you would go in. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is it. The Alexandria fragrance, it's a good scent also, don't get me wrong. But this smells more like soap. It's got the citron, the orange, a little hint of the neroli or whatnot, but it smells to me more like soap than it smells like clean soap, like an expensive soap. But this one takes it up to another notch. It smells a lot thicker. It's like the product is blended a whole lot better. It's a little harder to break down each note, but the citrus and the ginger sits up on top. So you can tell that this was blended a whole lot better. Yeah, this is different. This is more like a clean soap with a little bit. I would say a little bit. I would say probably with some of the characteristic of the Louis, but this is on another level. This is not the same thing. And Alexandria Fragrances is supposed to be one of the ones that get closer to duplicating. But like I told you before, Louis puts something else in the fragrances that they do not list to give them that extra characteristic that I think is very hard to actually mimic. This is not bad, but to me and my nose, this is probably 75 to 80%, somewhere in that area. Yes, the smell characteristic is there. I can tell what they were trying to do, and they did a pretty good job. But side by side, these are not the same fragrances, not to me. It's in the wheelhouse, but it's not quite the same. Yeah, the Alexandria fragrances, like I said, it's a very good set. Very good. I got no problem with it. But if you smell it side by side with the Louis, it's just it's just not the same. It's not the same scent. Not not to say that it's a clone. It basically it's a little watered down to give you part of it, but it's to me it's not close enough. It's there. I can smell the actual fruitiness or whatnot, and some ginger in the background. But this to me is more clean soap. That's what's coming across, as opposed to this one's coming across. Ah, my goodness, this is cleaner than soap. It's just hard to put it in words. But the citrus, the orange, a little bit of neroli. This, I mean, picking up a little bit of the cinnamon in the background. This one, I think, has that gag wood in it. Let me see what that gag wood is. It's supposed to be like a vanilla-like, woody, smoky, leather-like fragrance, depending on the application. Yep, this is 80% max. I would say probably closer to 75%. Very good scent, but it's not the OG. When I went to pick up this fragrance at Louis Vuitton, trying to catch that Black Friday type of special, I went in and I asked the sales guy, it's like, you got any kind of Black Friday deals going on? Trying to see if I could catch a deal or whatnot. And he looked at me dead in my face and said, everything in here is for sale, but nothing ever goes on sale. And at first, it took me a minute to understand what he was saying, but then it hit me. I guess they don't have to go on sale because they got the money out of me. So those are my thoughts on it. In all honesty, if I wanted this particular fragrance, Louis Vuitton, and I wanted to get something closer, I'd probably look around and see if I can find one just a little bit closer to the actual profile. This one is close, but it seems like it's just coming up a little bit short to my nose. Like I said, I'm not perfect at this, but I know my nose knows what it smells. The Louis Vuitton is on another level, but it should be, at $340 plus tax. So you pretty much get what you pay for. Now, would I say run out and spend $340 on this? If it's a scent profile that sounds good to you and you really want the Louis Vuitton experience, you're going to have to get the original on this. I've actually had Visionary probably for like 6 months or so. I've worn it maybe 2 or 3 times. Pretty good scent. Doesn't last very long. I've had a couple of samples of the Imagination, and I probably got a good 8 hours out of it, and I could still smell it. So the Louis Vuitton, it's gonna last a good bit longer than the Visionary. Even though there's nothing wrong with it's a good scent, but it's not the same. So on this particular one, what I would say is, if you want this experience, first of all, get you some samples. That's what I always like to say. Sample, sample, sample. You know, don't go by what my nose is. It may be a little bit different from what you smell. But for this particular experience here, I probably, if I had the money, I would go for the OG. Because even though this particular one is very close, and it's a very good scent, it's probably, like I said, I would say 75 to 80%, but it's leaving out something essential that you're paying for when you get the OG. But before we go, I got one more scent that's supposed to be an interpretation of the same Louis Vuitton. And this scent is called Sunny Afternoon. Sunny Afternoon. This scent is by Christopher Lee Fragrances, which is another content creator that makes his own fragrances. And what I did is went on ordered a sample kit because I wanted to sample it myself and see what it smelled like and see how close it was to the Imagination. And I think he's selling these for maybe about 120 bucks. I'm not for sure, but it's called, what's it called again? Sunny Afternoon. We're going to give this a quick try before we go. Let me see what is going on. I want to hold you all up too long, but I haven't tried this particular fragrance yet, so I don't know what to expect. But I heard him talking about it on his channel. Shout out to Christopher Lee Fragrances. Y'all might want to go check him out. But because he makes his own cologne or whatnot. You know, you can't be mad at a brother trying to, you know, get his business going. This is a nice interpretation also. It's pretty close. I would say about as close as Alexandria Fragrances. But the oil concentration seems to be a little bit on the thicker side. He seems to have a little bit more oil in it. And I know he tries to do that so the fragrances will last long. He wants you to make sure you get your money's worth when you're buying it. This is a nice variation of Louis Vuitton. It's not Louis Vuitton, but it definitely has some of the smell characteristics. I don't know. I think you ought to check this brother out. And like I said, you don't have to, he's got it set up so you don't have to go over there and spend buy the whole big bottle. You can buy samples. What I would do is check him out. Get the sample kit and see what you think. But that's the end of my review. Real quick, the other ones are okay, but the interpretations, but the OG on this one takes the cake. I'll see you all on the next one.